Enjoying Vegas?
As much as you can. As hot as it is right now, and watching some of the summer league games, you try to enjoy it as much as you can. But I'm having a good time. I always do when I come to Vegas.
Do you have vacation time with this, or is this still work as well?
No, this is still work. This is all work, to be honest with you. My vacation time comes after this is over with the wife and family. But right now it's all work, just trying to make sure we take a real good hard look at some of our young guys.
Before we talk about the young guys and also the restructuring of your roster, you have a cherished career as a player. Why is it that you and some other guys that played the game managed to succeed as coaches, and you have great guys in the game, such as Magic, Larry Bird, and some other guys that may try it, and they can't quite get it?
Their expectations probably a little too high, because they were great players and they played the game, one way, and they expect guys to be as dedicated and as passionate about the game as they are. Where I guess myself, I'm a little bit more of a realist as far as understanding that, these guys are a little bit different than we are, and you got to treat them as such, but you still got to coach them, you still got to demand the discipline, but you also got to, give them a hug every now and then, and we didn't need that back in the day. We could take the criticism and kind of let it roll off our backs, where these guys are a little bit more sensitive, and it's just a different time, and it's a different era, and you just got to be a little bit more in tune with that.
Cleveland Cavaliers new head coach Byron Scott here on ESPN Radio 1100. Congratulations on the new job.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And you've got your hands full, and obviously from the start, how much did you know regarding Lebron? In the end, what we're finding out is that no one knew until we went on TV. Is that the way it really went down?
I think so. I know our people didn't know, and I think they found out at a little bit after 9 before he made it, nationally known that he was going to go to Miami. But I had no clue. I sit there and I watched it just like everybody else, and once he made his decision, about 5 minutes later, I started thinking about practice tomorrow for our summer league team, and started thinking about free agents, and started thinking about the regular season. So, right then I kind of changed gears and went into just thinking about the future of the basketball team. And that's, I think that's what I had to do, number one. And number two, I didn't have an emotional attachment to LeBron because I never had the opportunity to coach him. So it was probably a lot easier for me to be detached from the whole situation because of the fact, like I said, I didn't have a whole lot of emotional attachment to it.
Well, going into the press conference that he held, the decision.
Yeah.
At that time, what were your thoughts? I mean, you are in Vegas. What do you think your odds were of getting him?
You know what? I thought odds were pretty good. And once the thing started, the decision started, and you're listening to everybody, and then once he came up and he started talking, and just watching him, and I'm not an expert on body language or anything like that, but then I had a pretty good idea that he wasn't coming back. And that's probably about 10 minutes before he made a decision. But I still was hopeful because I hadn't heard it from his mouth. But once I heard it, like I said, I started to turn my attention to other things that we needed to do.
When you got the job, the assignment, did you have time at all to speak to him between now and then? Never?
No, never. Only time I got a chance to really speak to LeBron was when we had, when the Cavaliers had an opportunity to kind of present our case on why we felt he should stay. And that was the only time I had any contact with him besides maybe the next day or a few days later at his basketball camp. I went to watch him work out, and basically then he was just, what's up, coach? And I said, how you doing, LeBron? And that was the extent of the conversation and the contact that I had with him.
Byron Scott here on ESPN Radio 1100. I have to admit, I love your boss. Let's face it, a man who's distinguished like Dan Gilbert, who at one time said, the hell with it. Here's how I really feel. I actually dug it. I have to tell you that, Coach.
I did too, because it showed me that, number one, he has a lot of passion. He has a lot of belief in what we're doing. He has a lot of belief in this organization. And, I know he was a little angry. We all understand that. And he felt that he was betrayed. But then, like I said, the thing that I love most about it is the fact that he said he's going to do everything in his power to, help bring Cleveland a championship basketball team. So, I love that about him. I want an owner who is passionate like that and has that type of conviction. That's the type of guy I want to be in a foxhole with.
Now, look at your roster. Of course, I know you still have some guys in place, but give us an idea of what we're going to see. And I know it's way off before the season, but right now with what you have, what can we be expecting as far as guys that are going to get most of the minutes?
Well, right now you're gonna see a team out there that's going to be scrappy, that's going to play hard, that's defensive-minded. That's going to be one of the better defensive teams and one of the better rebounding teams. And then when we get the rebound, we're going to be a running team. We want to get up and down the floor and kind of open this whole thing up. So that's something that I've always tried to do as a coach, and I think it's something that's been very successful in this league. But first and foremost, we still want to be tough mentally as well as physically, and we want to be a defensive-minded basketball team.
Hickson, I'm guessing is going to probably see more playing time now.
Well, there's no doubt about it. He's a young guy that's really started to develop, and I thought he started to come of age last year when he was playing. Then he didn't play much after the trade for Jameson, but a young man who I think is going to blossom this year. And obviously with LeBron going, there's going to be demands on not only him but a lot of other guys to come out here and do some of the things that I know they're capable of doing. When you have a great player like we had in Cleveland, when you have a LeBron, you have a tendency for other guys to just kind of stand around and watch. Well, now these guys are going to be very involved in what we're doing, and hopefully they see this as an opportunity to show some of their true talents. And if they look at it that way, then we're going to have a great season.
Shaq returning, is that something you hold your arms open for, or are you looking to go in another direction there, even though I know you don't make that decision?
Right, I do not make that decision, but it's something that I've talked to with our GM, Chris Grant, and it's still something that we're mulling over right now. If he can come in and really help us and help some of these young guys develop, or should we just go to a different direction?
A couple of players here at the Summer League that you have your eyes on?
Well, we're always looking at guys, you know what I mean? Besides the guys that we have on our team, we're also, looking at other teams play that have guys that are free agents or guys that are not under contract with that team. So, we're always trying to make sure that we keep a close eye on guys that can help us win basketball games.
The Lakers looking to three-peat. You being a Laker back in your years of playing, and I'll admit I was a huge fan of Showtime and back in the era. Being from San Diego myself, but things have changed. We see more defense now, but we also see free agency. I have to ask you this: if Miami does somehow get into the finals, and that means that you guys won't be there, and they're playing the Lakers, who would Byron Scott be rooting for?
I'm purple and gold all the way when it comes to that. That's still one of the greatest organizations in all of sports. So I would be wanting them to win, and it doesn't matter. The only team that I wouldn't want them to beat is us. Obviously, we get in the finals, I'm gonna try my best to win the championship. But if they're playing anybody else, I'm still a big Kobe Bryant fan. I think he's the best in the league, and I think he showed that last year. I thought he showed it in the playoffs. He's the main guy that has the biggest killer instinct in this league, and you got to give him a lot of credit. So. If they're playing anybody besides the Cleveland Cavaliers, I want them to do well.